what are subject rentals? Subject, and this is, of course, subject means it's the property we're purchasing. That's the subject. Non-subject is other properties I own that are not subject of the application. So when you see subject is actually this property. That's why we call it subject. Subject rental, there are two types. There's the owner occupied. So that means the owner lives there or plans to live there because you're purchasing. The owner will live there and rent out parts. That's a subject, that's an owner occupied rental. Sorry, I should have called this owner occupied rental. There are two types. There's the owner occupied rental where the owner is going to live there. And this works with a house or a multi-unit, but the owner lives there and it's also responsible for parts of the expenses. But they're renting out parts like the basement. And then we got the non-owner occupied rental, which it's a full rental. So the owner will not live there. It's a full rental, and it could be a full house, or it could be entire house, or it could be entire condo. It has to be a legal suite, by the way, whether it's owner occupied or non-owner occupied. All right, so to convert a property or a subject into a rental, obviously the wizard at the beginning will ask, do you plan to rent out this property? But if you said no, or you skip that part, you come to this, I want to show you where you can change it. We know it's a condo. So therefore, down here, it says rental plans. You can change it to a rental or not a rental. If this was a house, we know there's another third option. Not a rental, owner occupied rental, or rental. So you can set that up. Let's go with the owner occupied, just for the sake, try it out. Now you get to add in a fair market rent. So let's put in 300 bucks. What happens is now this money is actually now used to, it's used as income, which will increase. If you look at, it's now $983. So your purchase power actually increases because you're getting this as income. Of course, you're not getting it fully as income. There are different rules. Right below it, there's the rental income rules. So let's go configure, and I want to show you how this looks. For example, in a non-owner occupied, I want it to be offset. I'm going to use Scotia as an example, but you can do this for every lender. So Scotia will say, I want offset at 50%. Condo fees is 50%. Actually, Scotia does it a little bit different. I want to, but let's just say offset at 50%. You can change all this. You can customize. You can add in your own. And you can even say, I want 50% or 100% or 80% of the condo fees. This is really comes from your knowledge of the lender. If you know how the lender uses the rental income, you plug it in here and your app is customized for that specific lender in that scenario. You can also choose what to do with surplus and what to do with the shortfall. There's a few options. For example, the surplus, you can add it to income, obviously, and zero it out, means you're not going to do anything with it. Or you can deduct from income. Now, these options, some of them may not work for you. But surplus, I'll add to income. You can do the same thing for shortfall. I can see why we have those options. It's just shared between the shortfall and the surplus. In a shortfall, you want to probably add it to liabilities, and sometimes you want to deduct from income. Really, that's up to you and up to the lender you work with. You can move it to owner occupied and set up that portion. You can say add back at 50%. You can actually change this add back to offset too, if you really must, depending on the lender rules. You have to know your lender. For the non-subject rental, we've built worksheets for you, powerful worksheets, which I'm going to hopefully demo next 2 weeks. Okay, so once you set this up, you can come back in here and you can look at it. It can actually see it says 50% offset plus principal, interest, taxes, and heat. And the owner-occupied version has the add back, and it will use these rules to add to income and what percentage of it. non-owner occupied, yeah, full rental. Scotia will actually offset, will do offset 50% and also exclude home expenses, exclude taxes and heat. So you can just turn this guy on to see it work. In this case, it didn't really matter because maybe I am restricted by down payment. Okay, so the differences are, if the switch is off, you can see it clearly. It says 50% offset plus PITH, principal, interest, taxes, and heat. And if it's condo, it's going to add a C to it. And if you turn it on, you can actually see the indicator removing taxes and heat. I'm just going to go back and forth so you could see it. Okay, so that's our rental income, subject rental income and rules. And we have reached the end of our webinar. So I'm going to open up to questions. And thank you so much.